Elon Musk sold $5 billion worth of Tesla stock this week. His first such transaction since 2016, and only days after polling his Twitter followers on whether he should sell 10% of his holding in the electric automaker. Musk exercised options on Monday and subsequently sold roughly half of the 2.1 million shares he got, collecting approximately $1.1 billion in cash to pay taxes on the deal, as claimed by the filings with U.S. securities authorities. According to new papers, Musk then sold another 3.6 million shares of Tesla stock on Tuesday and Wednesday. These transactions were worth $3.9 billion at an average price of $1,082 per share. As stated by the filing, the sale was made solely to meet Musk's tax withholding requirements connected to the exercise of stock options. In the other papers, no specific reason for the transactions was given. Musk exercised around 9% of the options that he has to execute before they expire in August 2022. However, under the maximum federal income tax rate of 37%, taking that 9% will result in a $1 billion federal tax bill with an additional 3.8% net investment tax on top of that. While investors were aware of Musk's need to sell shares to pay taxes, Tesla's price dropped following the Twitter poll on fears that he wanted to sell more than had been expected. Musk's sale of 4.5 million shares on those days may have contributed to the drop in the stock price on Monday and Tuesday. If Musk actually plans to sell 10% of his stake, as the Twitter poll predicted, he will have to sell more shares, given he has only sold 2.6% of his stock since exercising his options on Monday. Despite the fact that the paperwork outlining Musk's stock trades on Tuesday and Wednesday didn't identify a motive, he does face a huge tax burden. When he exercises the further options that are about to expire, he'll have to declare the value of the shares as normal income, which will be taxed at a rate of 40.3% federally, plus maybe some state tax. The actual tax payment will be decided by the value of the shares at the time the options are exercised, but assuming shares stay around their present value, the federal tax bill will be over $11 billion. Because the transactions he made this week seem to be of equities he owned outright, he won't pay as much in taxes. Since the business's first public offering in 2010, Musk has held around 80% of the shares in his portfolio, a proportion based mostly on his investments in the company before it went public. That means nearly all of the money he gained from selling 3.6 million shares on Tuesday and Wednesday would be taxed at 20% as a long-term capital gain. In addition to any taxes owed on the exercise of his options, this will result in an extra federal tax obligation of nearly $776 million. However, between now and August, he might have avoided capital gains by continuing to retain those shares and selling only those acquired via the execution of options. Following the filings, Tesla stock jumped approximately 2% in pre-market trade on Thursday. Before this week's transactions, Musk controlled 170.5 million Tesla shares outright, valued at $182 billion as of Wednesday's closing. He currently possesses 71.4 million shares with unexercised options, including 20.7 million that will expire in August. Because he only had to pay $6.24 per share under the rules of the 2012 award, he made a tidy $2.5 billion profit on the options he exercised this week. That's on top of the $3.9 billion profit he made on the shares he sold on Tuesday and Wednesday. Even still, the total $6.4 billion profit is little to the world's wealthiest individual. According to Bloomberg, Musk has a net worth of over $300 billion. Because the value of the stocks and options constituted a substantial part of his net worth, the more than $6 billion profit from this week's trades was already included. Musk making $5 billion via stock sales and option exercises is the equivalent of an average American family selling $2,000 worth of shares. According to the latest current estimate from the Federal Reserve, the median household net worth is $121,700. Musk's fortune is mostly made up of Tesla stock and options to acquire more. 2 weeks ago, Tesla became the sixth company in history to be valued at $1 trillion. He is, however, the majority stakeholder of SpaceX, a privately owned company.